Hi, and welcome to You Gotta Be, an interview podcast that focuses on the lives and work of women DJs, women identified DJs. And today's guest is Amateur Waifu, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
waifu.
Okay. So, a little bit about amateur. Can I just call you Waifu?
Of course.
Okay. Waifu, she hit the ground running in 2022 and is a local Ypsilanti area DJ, bringing an array of house and electronic music to the dance floor. Having played at events like Michigan's Blissfest and Harbor Springs in the Ann Arbor Summer Festival Silent Disco, Amateur Waifu brings high energy and passion to every set. I know that for a fact. I've witnessed it. Although making a home in the genre of house, Amateur Waifu keeps things exciting by performing not only digital DJ sets but on vinyl as well, experimenting with electronica, downtempo, funk, hip hop, throwbacks. The sky is the limit. With only a year of experience, Amateur Waifu now resides in several collectives which focus on DJing, networking, and collaboration of creatives. Some of these collectives include the Wax Kings, the Fallout Shelter, the Ypsilanti DJ VJ Collective, and Luna Sound Collective. Additionally, Amateur Waifu plays regularly at York, Ann Arbor. Fun place to hang out.
So fun if you love cheese and wine.
Yes. Ann Arbor Brewing Company and 734 Brewing Company, both in Ypsilanti. And you can listen to all of Amateur Waifu's sets on Mixcloud /Amateur Waifu. And I'll put that up on the YouTube when I upload the video. So
Perfect.
welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
Absolutely. Well, it's such a pleasure for me because you actually were the first person from the collective who reached out to me when I wrote a little note to the
Oh,
group.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, we busy bees keep busy, I think.
There you go. Yeah, so for any audience, I joined the Ypsilanti DJ VJ collective, and well, it's a little bit of a drive for me. I try to get in there once a month at least and hang out, and it's a lot of fun. And that's where we met. And I went to go see one of your shows in Corktown in Detroit, and that was a lot of fun. And so we're gonna get into the interview now.
Wonderful.
What is the first song you remember listening to as a child and loving, and why did you love it?
So it has to probably be somewhere between Motown and Christmas music, heavily influenced by my parents. But I think like the song My Girl or Brown Eyed Girls,
Oh
like
my
it really
god.
spoke to me. Just, like those classic, like some light alternative rock, a little Motown, a little jazz, a little bit of everything. And I think that those stuck out because my mother loved those songs, and having brown eyes myself,
Mhm.
Brown Eyed Girls in particular really stuck out to me. But aside from that, like traditional music, I was so enthralled with the piano that and voices that I fell in love with this song called And So It Goes. It wasn't
Mhm.
necessarily my childhood, but definitely in my teens. And
Who sang that?
oh, I cannot remember the composer. It's quite a famous choral piece, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
yeah, and so it goes. I heard my sophomore choir perform it, and by my senior year, I was in the choir at high
Oh, there
school.
you go.
So, like, something about the meshing of voices. I have different reasons why I like all these songs. Like the Motown is because I think being involved and singing and participating and being able to be a part of that and feel like that song was written for me or something. I'm sure other people could relate, but I love it. And same with Christmas music. I love that people know it. I love that people sing with it. It brings me so much joy, and I think that's what music's all about, right? Is bringing
Yes,
joy.
definitely. I always say it's the soundtrack of my life, right? Different
Yes.
songs bring different memories. What's your favorite Christmas song?
Oh, anything by Bing Crosby. But it's
Okay.
probably just the Christmas song. Chestnuts
Yep.
roasting on an open fire, that kind of thing. So I love it. Like I will listen to that every year with the Yule log app on my TV as much as I can.
My favorite is Carol of the Bells, especially when it's
Oh,
done with the choral, the full choral group. I love that.
my at Eastern Michigan University, we used to sing at some of the old folks' homes around here, and that was one of the best ones to do.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
So pretty.
What are your favorite? Well, we touched a little bit that your home is in-house, but what are your favorite genres to DJ to, and are they different than what you like to dance to?
Yes and no. So like my favorite thing to DJ is bass house. There's something between like the hard-hitting punch of bass meets like the melodic fun, like spunky dance
Mhm.
aspect. And I love to like mix all of those moments. So when you listen to some of my sets that are hard bass house, there's a wave. There's a like a you swell with it. And I really love the energy of like building something up, releasing it and letting it like the air breathe.
Mhm.
Cuz I think that air is space to fill with sound. And I'm honored that people would like take the time to listen. But
Yes, I really like that idea that music's meant to take up that airspace. And I think for me too, like cuz I came at DJing from being a club kid back in the day and dancing all the time,
oh,
right?
love it.
And
Yes.
so one of the challenges sometimes for me in more in bars and less in clubs, but that they're so busy quick mixing that you can't really lay back into a song and really sort of get into it. And also sometimes there's like they don't follow an arc long enough for me to like really go deep into the music. Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, so I've been told I've been known to draw out the song because I love to play it out. A lot of my DJing is from track selection versus like heavy effects mixing, etc.
Mhm.
So I love to let the song play out and like really take you on that melodic journey to lead
Yeah.
you into the next point of interest. So
Yeah.
I
And
totally
I
get
think a
it.
lot of times people don't like there's sort of Easter eggs in the latter part of the song. Like there'll be, an amazing jazz break, jazz piano break. Like if you think of like Thelma Houston, "Don't Leave Me This Way," toward the end of that, there's like this amazing piano solo, right, where it's just tearing it up, or there'll be sax solo or something like that. And so it's so nice to like have that moment happen and not cut it off, right?
I
Where
think
you can
so
just really
too.
sort of like cut loose a little bit and just be with the music.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think of it like a sponge with water. I'm trying to absorb all of these different things that I'd love to show you while also minding the crowd and the audience and who's listening. But at the same time, I want to show you these things that I think people would like, based off of what's popular or what they're looking to hear that night. And I think it's just so fun to be able to like take them on this musical journey.
Yeah,
And holding out those moments can be really beautiful or like really like party centric fun if you would. um
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I remember I was at one club here in Jackson when that shall remain nameless, and there was a really good arc going on, and I'm getting into it, and it's like the second song, and it's really dancy, right? So it's up in the 120s somewhere, and then he throws on a hip hop song, and not a hip hop remake, a hip hop song. Well, I felt like I slammed into a brick wall,
yeah,
right?
it's
And
it,
so
it drops those moments of build and it's
yeah,
hard transition. It can be hard to stomach sometimes.
yeah, yeah. I really like bass house too. I've played it before, and you can't help but get stank face when that bass comes in, right?
Yes, I was just talking to DJ Tinatrick about this, where you're just like, it's so dirty that you love it, so
Yeah,
you got to make a face.
yeah. Um, what are your favorite genres? Well, you talked about this a little bit too, but you can expand on it. What are your favorite genres to listen to when you aren't DJing?
So it's so funny. I actually DJ what I listen to, so it's very vulnerable most of the time. I know a lot of people say they listen to everything, but I do really try to listen to just about everything from like alternative rock. So I love Nickelback, and we just saw a concert. And but then I love like hard EDM, so I'm constantly going to festivals. I went to EDC Las Vegas this
Cool.
past year, and then Movement, the techno festival in Detroit. And you know, I think I started in a really down tempo, like instrumental, melodic, you know, folk place when I was in my teens, and I ended somewhere in really hard, like dubstep, bass, house, you know, electronica, and all the wubs and all the dubs.
All the
Uh,
wubs and dubs. I love that.
I used to go by MG Wubs, which
Ah,
is
that's great.
it was a silly name I used to make beats. I wasn't doing them seriously, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But I something about a variety of music that hits the senses in all the places. Like
It,
I can't get enough of it, and it's addicting. So I'm constantly plugged into music.
I feel the same way. I a lot of time well, I always listen to my live streams after to, to
That's
critique
good.
them, see what I did well, what I could do better. Um, but a lot of times when I'm driving around, I'll listen to like NPR or something like that, or I'll go to classical or some 70s rock and roll or something like that. At
I,
home, I'll listen to jazz a lot of times. And so I did an interview with Paige Hodel, she's been a DJ for 40 plus years in back in San
oh wow.
Francisco in the heyday of all the great clubs. And she says she doesn't ever listen to dance music when she's not working or not preparing to do a club set or something like that. She said she'll listen to classical or nothing at all.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think a secret guilty pleasure in the car, I'll always put on 90s throwback.
Yeah.
Something about Tupac and Biggie.
There you
Something
go.
about them.
Yeah. Can't can't quit them. What made you decide to become a DJ? Because this just happened.
Yeah, so within the last year, it's all been new, new, new. Um, a wonderful DJ and a super fantastic friend, DJ Silent Echo or Jameson Lundy, um, taught me how to DJ last year, sometime late in the year, and it kind of just took off. I mean, we had a couple sessions, but I think once he kind of showed me the ropes, I just took everything he had taught me, everything that I had previously gained in experience, and ran with it. I do want to thank Jameson for really giving me. He always tells me it's not him, but I really couldn't have done it without his help because he
Mm,
encourages me constantly. He's a great mentor and a wonderful friend. But
yes.
I do think that my background in music and choral experience and instruments and just being an avid listener and concert goer, I think it gave me all of these little building blocks to put into a DJ deck, like cue
Yes.
points,
Yeah.
if you will. And it kind of just I had been looking for something to do with all of my like piano and guitar playing. Open mics was not the thing, but I wanted to do something with music, and I wanted to do something with networking because I love people. So it just kind of it was like hand and foot. Like it just became a magical experience that I couldn't quit.
Oh, that's how I feel. I started during literally a week after the shutdown, the pandemic. I'd done a few little things in 2008 and 18 and 19, but I wasn't doing anything seriously. I wasn't practicing. I just throw a playlist together and go out and do the thing. And then the pandemic hit, and I started doing live streams for internet radio station once a week. And at first I was like, yeah, I'll just throw a playlist together. And then I was like, oh no, I better like pick at least know the first two songs. And then I they had to get me on the radio station, and sometimes there were technical difficulties, and that would sort of throw me off my rhythm. So then I started practicing for an hour so that I knew what I was going to play for the next hour. so that if there were any technical difficulties, I didn't have to like figure out what I was playing. I
That
could
makes
just
sense.
move to the
Yeah.
next thing and keep fixing things.
I definitely take on a more like vinyl traditional method to put my music together where I digitally create a bunch of music or aesthetic vibes and then I pull from them as a DJ. Maybe I'll pick one or two songs, but I'm such a flow artist and I've tried to do the planning, but it's so hard because everything I'll plan never goes right for me in the moment.
I really, I'm sort of like the first half an hour, 45 minutes. I I just want to know, and then I'll go off in a different direction. For the next hour, I won't have any idea what I'm playing. I just pick another song in the same key, looks interesting, and I'll throw that on there. And sometimes I could have done better, and other times I'm like a savant. I didn't even I couldn't have planned it that well. Like Monday night, I wasn't sure I was going to play because I'd been out DJing on Saturday, and then I traveled to the west side of the state on and didn't get back until later on Sunday. And I thought, well, if I'm going to play, then I'm going to do something down tempo. So I threw some like kind of trip hop stuff together and some organic house and a few other things together. And Monday night when I started playing, I thought I was gonna get into, like, sort of the funky chill, and it was all kind of ambient and moody and, melodic,
Oh,
not a
I
lot
bet
of
it was
vocals.
awesome.
There were a few funky things, and then I was like, "Okay, okay, I'm getting into the funky stuff," and then the next thing I'd choose would be, like this, like, non-lyric vocals and, strange instruments and
Oh no,
shades
that's
of, like, Middle
awesome.
Eastern music, and
I love
I was
that.
like, "Well, apparently this is what I'm feeling tonight because this is everything I'm picking is, like, in this vibe."
Hey, sometimes it just comes to you and you gotta let it flow. Gotta
That's
let it
right.
ride.
That's right. Um, so so you're pretty new at this, but how did you build your business and market yourself?
So amateur waifu is persona, if you will. And it actually started from cosplaying. If you don't know what cosplaying is, it's very like Japanese anime oriented, where you dress up in elaborate costumes, authentically to match these characters. Um, but I started cosplaying several years ago, maybe 7, 8 now. And I go to this Detroit Youmacon every year, this Youmacon convention, and amateur waifu kind of was born this way. I love, I call it weeb aesthetic, but I love Japanese and any Asian culture related animation and like cutesy kawaii things. Hence all of my cutesy things. But I think with amateur waifu, I took that cosplaying identity and realized that I could relate it to a ton of other artistic, creative things that I was doing. And I was like, why can't amateur waifu be a DJ? Just because she's an amateur doesn't mean she can't be a DJ.
So at some point, are you gonna be professional waifu?
Professional waifu. So I've been asked a few times, and I think that amateur waifu is kind of just this persona aesthetic of a cutesy kawaii girl who wants to bring you hype hoppin' music. I I hope that others don't take it so seriously to say that I am amateur, although I am currently an amateur. But I think it's more about bringing in that fun, bubbly, high energy thing into this realm, which you see in K-pop or J-pop, but you don't always see a cutesy DJ like in all pink.
Yes, yes, with kitty ears on
Exactly.
their headset.
I know I should have worn my ears today.
Yeah, yeah. Now you mentioned Kauai. Are you a Michigander by birth, or did you grow
Oh,
up in Hawaii?
actually, kawaii. Kawaii is like cute Japanese.
Oh, I'm thinking the
K
island.
Yeah, like Kawaii.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
it would be like these pillows are kawaii. They're
Okay.
very cutesy. Um, but I'm actually South Korean,
Oh,
and I
okay.
was adopted very young. So I don't know my biological family, but my adopted family is super wonderful, and I grew up in east side of the state, kind of near south of Port Huron called St. Clair.
Mhm.
And then I moved over here for college and I couldn't leave.
Yes. No, it's very cool. Ipsy's I like Ipsy and I like Ann Arbor too.
It has a lot of buzz that I don't think everybody sees right off the bat.
No.
You got to dig a little.
And one thing I've noticed about Detroit too is that there's this whole underground club vibe, the kind of thing happening in Detroit right now, with
Yes.
Spotlight, with High
Big
Dive.
Pink.
What's that?
Big Pink is coming on the rise.
Oh, okay. I have to check them out.
And like the Russell, is it the Russell Industrial Center and Tangent Gallery always have something going. Like Wave Point, who is the half of Golf Clap
Oh,
DJs.
okay. Yeah.
He's going to be playing with Joe Hertler from the Ann Arbor area, I believe. And he's going to play tonight at the Tangent Gallery for this open house
God,
night.
why do I live so far away?
I
And
know.
why do I still work? I need to get rid of the day job and
I need
just
to
do
be
this all the time.
professional partying or professional, network liaison.
There you go. There you go. What beginner's mistakes did you make that you wish you'd known about then?
I think so. I want to call it a mistake, but I know that friends would see it otherwise because it's their learning experiences. But I think the biggest thing that I wish I would have known coming into DJing was the culture, like the sensitive culture of Ipsy and Ann Arbor and the Detroit area, because there's so many DJs and so many artists and so many things going on. But I think that like Michigan itself, we often struggle to market ourselves.
Hmm.
And I think that, not that I'm an amazing marketer by any means, but having a background of arts and entertainment management with a business minor, that's what I got my bachelor's in at Eastern. I think that kind of set the tone for like when I was going to do this thing, I was going to invest in myself and go from the top down because I'm insane.
But it's
No, no.
working.
Yes, but and I cannot believe the momentum that I've gained in such a short amount of time. But truly, I wish I would have known and gotten to know the community and networked a little more before I kind of dove in. Not because I regret the way I did it, but because I think there's so much other things that I would like to learn from and of around the area and from other DJs. I think there's so many things I would have liked to learn first to
Hmm.
get a taste of all of the history there.
Right, right. Like
So
urban
much,
resistance and what
yeah.
is it? The Detroit techno. What's the last
Oh,
part?
militia.
Militia. Yeah.
Yes, DTM. Oh, they're great. But yeah,
Yeah.
like so I'm in the Wax Kings collective, and they originally started with all vinyl DJs. So I'm super honored to be one of the few who digitally DJ, and I'm still a part of it. Although I do dabble in vinyl, it is not my like go-to.
Yeah.
Um so it's I don't know, it's interesting. I wish that I could have had like a really close mentor. Echo, of course, was a great mentor, but I think like having like a true teacher to like guide me and follow into the industry would have helped me maybe not rock the boat so intensely.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think I ruffle any feathers, but I definitely know that I get a lot of more gigs than a 1 year DJ should probably be getting. But I love it. I live it. I work so hard just
Yeah.
to
People
um
recognize your talent or they wouldn't bring you on stage.
they wouldn't give me interviews. So
They wouldn't give you interviews.
no, but
Right.
I'm honored. So yeah, I think the biggest mistake would just be getting familiarized with what was going on already before I kind of made my mark.
Sort of get the lay of the land and who the movers and shakers were.
Right. Because I'm not here to tell anybody how to do anything. I'm not here to, say that I'm doing anything more or less than anyone. I'm just here to be here, to share this air. That there's so much of it, and I don't know. I feel very blessed to be a DJ part-time for professionally.
Yes. Yes, I feel the same way. Um, what do you feel your greatest achievement has been up to this point as a DJ?
So I want to say it's a gig, but in reality, it's the network that I've like been building and the I don't know, the growth of the collective that I've helped start. The DJ VJ collective in Ypsilanti has kind of grown towards to it's kind of like the Southeast Michigan
Yeah.
area of DJs because there's so many people from so many places. And I'm honored to kind of be the den mother of it just because I love people and I love connecting and collaborating. And I kind of started the collective to like learn more from people and dive my toes in to see what other people are doing because of the fact that I didn't know as much as I wanted to.
Yeah.
So I think my greatest achievement is all of the friends and all of the connections and the wonderful people that I keep continue to meet. Like it's just amazing what all of these artists are doing. And I think that like my achievement is that I've grown to enough to be able to meet them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to come out more often and do things because like I had so much fun the other night with all of you and going to Fallout Shelter when I can. Like I literally was driving back from the airport when I stopped last
Oh
time. I
my
was like,
goodness.
I can go. It's on the way. I'm going.
For the life of the party.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. We do what we want, right? We do what we feel like needs to happen. And I think that's the best part of being in this little hub of a place with all these people is that it's just magical. It's just magical.
It's a great incubator for being able to grow and stretch and have people who have been DJing a long time involved who can sort of like because some people have said on different like videos, YouTube and stuff like that, that a lot of DJs can be very not very generous with their talent or with their opportunities and sort of give younger people the mentorship that you talked about or and when I say younger I mean like new to the business, right? New to
Right.
the art. And it was people who've been doing it not full time but doing it for a while that gave me the opportunity to live stream on the radio, internet radio. Um, Shout out to Sound Lab Radio, which isn't functioning anymore, but it was great. I was like, I answered a post on Facebook. And he was like, "Can you beat match?" And I said, 80% of the time." And then I said, you better 75% of the time. And they gave me a chance, and I became a DJ by doing these live streams first for Sound Lab Radio, and then for Rough Start Radio, and then for Groove Radio Detroit. And now I just do my own live streams. But that's what I was live streaming 2 hours, sometimes 4 hours every week.
Yeah,
You
wow.
you can't help but get better.
Exactly, right. I think after my first 3 lessons of DJing, I did this marathon with my friend VJ Gutter, shout out. Um, and we did a 6-hour just experimental show. We didn't record it, regrettably, but it was just this magical moment of visual art being projected on the wall behind me while I did mixing, and we just kind of we did exactly that. We let the air breathe, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something you can't really put into words. You have to just experience it.
Yeah, it's easy for me to like come in here to my little studio and start up and look up 4 hours later, 5 hours later. I've just been playing and chilling and checking things out and just
It's
just to play music.
it's addicting.
It is addicting. Like I Shazam things. I
Yes.
think about, oh, I should mix this with this. I think like I wasn't gonna live stream on Monday because I had a busy weekend, and I was like, oh, but I want to. I want to. Well, maybe I won't live stream. Maybe I'll just come into the studio and like clean records or listen to records. Try and practice vinyl mixing and then I was like, "No, I'm gonna play." But it was literally the day of that I was like, "Okay, okay, I'm gonna play."
Right. I think it's funny because they say variety is the spice of life, but I think, and that totally matches up with how much music there is in the world.
Yes,
There's not enough time in this world for all of it. So having to choose personally what I listen to is sometimes hard because I just want to absorb it all.
I know. I know. It's true. We could talk forever about just
I
just
know.
about music,
I know it.
which is fine with me. Um, so how do you keep the music and DJing fresh for yourself? Like, how do you avoid burnout?
So I guess following up on that, do you mean like keeping like the content fresh, or maybe like the like experience of mixing and like constantly gigging, I guess?
It could be all of the above.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
Like maybe, maybe you've been hanging out in a like bass house for the last, you know, few months playing it live at gigs and playing it at home and exploring new music but in just in that genre and then you're like,
I guess I thank Jersey Club mixes for that. Jersey Club is like booty music mixed with a little hip hop, mixed with a little dubstep or like break beats and like
mm-hmm.
sometimes it's like deep acid house in the background of it. So like I don't know, I've done like anime mixes, like chip tune and other like digital sounds. I guess in short answer is I try to mix it up and I experiment in different genres that I'm not used to. But at the same time, they're not always that foreign to me because I'm listening to them in the
Mm-hmm.
background of my life. And I think, like, secondly, I think talking to people about music and like I talk to DJ Tinatrick like constantly about new music and a bunch of other people's like DJ Bats and Danny Boy, a little bit of the old school crew, and they're constantly sharing songs and mixes. So it's kind of amazing. I'm drinking from like a fire hydrant right now of places to get music from
Yes.
because I think I'm often on Spotify or YouTube, but then I use SoundCloud, and then there's Mixcloud, and then there's Bandcamp and all these other places that you can go for original
Yeah.
music. And I think just actively having that ebb and flow of going back to different genres keeps it refreshed. Like I rarely play the same song twice. And I say that because I always try out a song twice. Because I just want to make sure I'm like, well, maybe I wasn't listening to it, or maybe it just didn't go with that song.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's just constantly digesting so much new stuff keeps it naturally like it just keeps it flowing like a waterfall.
Yeah, I'm always trying to add a new genre because I love many different genres. So
Yeah,
I
you've done like
actually did,
four genres in the last month or so, haven't you? Like
huh?
techno. You've done four genres in the last month or so.
Yeah.
With your late night mixes on Monday, I think.
Yes. Yeah, and that's so recently I saw that my count of uploads is 230.
Oh my gosh.
Almost all of them are 2 hours. So that's like 460
Oh my
hours.
goodness.
And then there's I I kind of have quit counting at 40 different genres. So,
That's a lot of genres.
yeah. So I did like one of them that I did. I had this idea a while ago because one time I was doing a hip hop mix and I was going through the DJ pools and DJ City has a lot of like music from India and Korean K-pop and Japanese hip hop and stuff like that. So I pulled a couple of Japanese hip hop tracks and I was like, "Oh, these are cool." And then I got this great idea. I'm going to do it's East Indian, East Asian, it's Japanese and Korean, and Southeast Asian, a genre called Vina House. Um, and I'm going to mush it all together.
That
And so
sounds
I did a
awesome.
whole set on that, and it was so much fun. And I
Too cool.
discovered some amazing music that no one else in Michigan's going to have.
No, no, I don't think so. That's awesome. I'll have to go back and listen to that mix.
Yeah, it's great. I had a lot of fun doing it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And there were some really great like surprising songs that I didn't anticipate that were just like highly danceable but so unique.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll definitely have to take a listen. I love anything you can dance to.
Me too. That's kind of that's my driving force behind a lot of the music. Can I dance to it? Because if I can dance
Yes.
to it, there's a good chance that other people can.
Me too. I think we've talked about this before. I started on the dance floor, and that's what I
Yes.
like to keep because if you can't move to something, if you're, that's why you're trying to go out, right?
Yeah. I mean, with the live stream, sometimes I do some like some kind of like more ambient stuff or some more like laid back down tempo stuff that maybe maybe you just listen to over dancing to, but my heart's in
Yeah.
dancing.
Yes, yes, like 110%.
Um, what has been your what have been your biggest challenges in the business, and what do you think are the biggest challenges for women DJs in general?
Okay, so the biggest challenge is my confidence. I'll be totally honest. It's so self-induced. I think that imposter syndrome
Mhm.
issue. I talked to several DJs about this. It's not because I don't think I can do it. It's just because all these other things come into play about your mixing, and it's not just about getting behind the deck and doing your thing and being creative and artistic. There's so many other factors that you could filter in, so I think it's the confidence, like keeping that confidence level
Mhm.
with a good balance of non-ego.
Right.
Because I think that once you pass that threshold, it becomes a discussion of like, well, what am I worth? Well, I think the discussion should be, you know, what does this mean to me? Why am I doing it? Not
Right.
what am I doing it for in that regard. If that makes sense.
It does make sense, and I think women struggle with what am I worth? Like a guy will walk
Yeah.
in and be like $500 an hour or right?
Yes.
And women are like, well, I mean, I struggle with that. I, I've struggled with that in my like day job kind of things when I've had opportunities to consult or something, and then they're like, well, how much do you charge? And I'll be like, I don't know. And so it is really hard.
Right.
And I'm honest with people. I'll say I'm not the most technical DJ on the face of the earth. Like, I'm probably never going to learn to scratch, but I do know music. I do know songs and genres.
Oh, of
And
course.
and
Yes.
so I feel confident in that my song selection is usually pretty strong. And I
Oh,
have
yeah.
friends who listen regularly and say, I like you turned me on to music I didn't even know existed.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. Ooh, sorry. My allergies are so bad today. But I think another big challenge, like I want to talk about it without accentuating it overly. But I think that the male dominance in the DJ world is like pretty intense most of the time. I feel very fortunate in my area in our area rather, that we have a saturation of female DJs that we can pick from, and they're good.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Equally so, there's a lot of male DJs who are also very good, but I think that more times than none, it is that weird culture of price point and confidence and demand and supply, like where I would love to work more gigs, but I'm not here to step on toes. I'm not here to take places. I just want to play somewhere fun where people are looking for good music.
Yeah.
But I know that oftentimes gigging is about the bottom line and, is it exposure? Is it good location? Is it this or that? But so I think the access and validity of being a female DJ is really empowering. And as long as you have good support, like I think that I do, I could see how challenging like sexism could be in this
Mm.
industry. And I've experienced some of it, but not enough to be noteworthy. Like I think overall we're in a wonderful area for artistic, people. And I think that there's a lot of respect that is given and dealt in this area. So but at the same time, I think like this show or two of the collectives I'm a part of, actually three that are all female. Luna Sound Collective, the Detroit Femi Underground Collective, and then Immaculate Conception Collective in Ann Arbor. So all female collectives, all based on Femi DJs, and I think that those are really what's starting to build a baseline for female DJ networking.
Mhm. Yeah, I've I kind of initially started this podcast idea when DJ Rebecca, who's out of Berlin, she's not German though. I think she's from the UK. Posted on Instagram about her experiences of sexism and sexual assault in the DJ and electronic dance world. And she started an organization called hashtag for the music.
Oh, I haven't.
Um, and just this week, a Korean DJ out of Korea, DJ Soda, posted a long post about she was in Japan doing a festival there, I think, and then she likes to go meet her fans, and so she went to go meet her fans, and they started fondling her breasts.
Oh, jeez.
And oh my god, I've been following the post, and I reached out to her and tried to get, directed her toward the for the music. They have a website, stuff like that. And but the posts, oh my god, so many people, women too, are like, well, you shouldn't dress provocatively.
Oh,
That old, it's so tired, tired,
it's
tired.
very tired and needs to be retired. There's this culture in cosplaying where it is an etiquette, cosplay etiquette, where you understand, and it is built into this world where just because we wear skimpy clothes is not an invitation, and consent is still very much a thing.
Yes.
So I am so disheartened that things are still happening in that way. But I think that things like this and other collectives to raise awareness of those things can really be the building blocks of what we
Yes.
need to normalize that these are not acceptable,
Right.
just because I wear short skirts or, fun like schoolgirl outfits, but that does not mean that it's not an invitation.
Right. It's not an invitation. And also, um, when there's enough really good women DJs, then hopefully they'll also retire the other very tired thing that is constantly said is, oh, who'd she sleep with to get the gig? Right. And so that's a real frustration, for a lot of people. It's like if you're
Yeah.
pretty and you're a DJ, well, we know how you got it.
I
And then
worry
the
about
question
that.
your skills. Oh, they're faking it. They're using sync. There are legitimate times when you got to hit the sync button. You got 3 seconds before that song
You're
ends and you
right.
can't dial it in.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, I worry about that myself, you know. I don't have much confidence. I would love to have more, but I do feel that I get a lot of gigs and I get a lot of questions about how I get those gigs. And I it often reminds me that I have to stay strong and confident to myself that I get these gigs because I work hard and I love what I'm doing, not because of any other reason.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can change the game over time.
I think we are slowly but surely.
I think we are. Um, do you produce your own music? You said you made a few beats back in the
So I
day.
don't, yeah, I don't produce my own music. I would love to get to a point where I could, but I used to do beat making. I know how to use some of Ableton. I did a lot of beat making with the Push 2, if you're familiar.
Mhm.
So just basic beats with some like light synth or keys. And then I also sing, but I've never added my own lyrics or anything like that. So it would be a future hopeful project.
You have to follow DJ Colette on Instagram.
DJ Colette.
She's
All
a
right.
DJ and she sings. She sings into a microphone into an earbud, like
Oh,
a wired earbud. And she sings into that and she has an amazing voice. She's out of LA.
okay.
And then DJ Stephanie B, she might be Scottish. I follow her on Instagram too. And she DJs, but she also has like a Roland, like, what is it called? Hand something, where it's like drum pads. It's a square shaped machine.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Hand
Can't,
is in the word in the name, but I can't remember because I was like, what is that? Let me look it up. And now I can't remember. But she drums behind her mixes and she's amazing.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I'll have to check her out.
I really want to get into it. I bought I I'm I'm a very shrewd thrifter. So I bought a lot of used equipment. I got a Novation launch key for $14.
Oh wow.
Yeah, with the cord.
14. Oh gosh, that's a good deal.
At a thrift store. So I'm very shrewd shopper, and so I bought a lot of used equipment. I've got the launch pad, and I got a machine, and I buy them almost all of them used. The only thing that I've ever bought like really brand new have been some of my DJ controllers. Maybe all of all but one of my DJ controllers I bought brand new. But even then I try to get a deal.
I I commend you because I am totally the opposite. There's something about opening something new and untouched that just
Especially DJ equipment because it's like, "Oh my god, look at all the buttons and the pads and the
it's so
knobs. What's this
shiny.
do?"
Pulling off the film of
Yes.
the
Yes.
screen for the first time.
Exactly.
But
I bought a
it's a
Prime 4
lesson
when
for
I was
you.
in California and lugged it all over the country, literally. And I bought a case, like a flight case for it, and combined, it was too heavy for me to lift.
Oh
I
no.
couldn't even move it. I had to lay the case down, take it all out, put it on there, and then,
Oh
it was
jeez.
crazy. I had to get rid of that case and get a different one. But it's so shiny and
And
lights
new.
up in all kinds of beautiful ways. And there's this screen, but I still use like a computer and virtual DJ when I live stream because it records really good quality through the computer and some just in the
Oh, that's
software.
great.
So I just stick to that. But
If it's not broke, don't need to fix it.
exactly, exactly. But I am a little bit of a equipment slut, I will admit it.
That's okay.
I will admit it. You would be, surprised what's in this room. Someday you'll have to come over and we'll just mess around.
Yes, I would love to do some mixing, a little back to back waifu
Yeah,
odd.
yeah. It would literally be back to back because I basically have to move out of the way for you to move in. But yeah, all that to say that I want to get into producing. I also met on Instagram. My networking has been different than you've been like physically networking around the Southeast Michigan
Yeah,
area. I've
I'm
been
up here.
networking on Instagram and following people. It's not been like, oh, I'm going to get all up in this person's DMs. I follow people because I'm interested, and I follow a lot of women DJs because they're role models for me. Like I
That's
learn
awesome.
from them, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Let me try that. And it started with following DJ Reborn in like 2017, I think, or 18, and she is Miss Lauren Hill's tour DJ.
Oh,
I
no
didn't even
kidding.
know you could be a tour DJ. And I was
I
like,
didn't know
"Oh
you
my
could be a tour
god."
DJ either. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Pink had DJ Cut Cut Up, I think his name is, or Cut It Up. Um yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing, and then I was like, "Oh, I want to do that." But
Life goals, Beyonce, if you need somebody.
exactly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I'm not on Beyonce's radar.
Hey,
I can
don't.
pretty much attest to that. Um But I started following this woman, her name is Claudio, and she's in Perth, Australia. And I'm saying this to you right now, live on, well, not live, but on YouTube, because I think you might be interested. So she started this thing called The Collective. And I get up at 5, 4:30 in the morning because she's in Perth. This Sunday, I get up at 3:30 because she's in Perth and it's 5 p.m. there. And we have conversations about creativity and how do you nurture your creativity, how do you balance your creativity with the business side of things, with
Yeah.
um, the
Oh, I love.
world, with family, with kids, all of that stuff, the philosophy of creativity. It's really interesting,
Oh, I love that.
very cool. And so she's trying to rethink. There's another one coming up this Sunday, but she's trying to rethink it to have maybe a larger kind of thing and then a smaller kind of salon kind of thing for people who want to get more in depth.
Yeah. No, that's
So it's very
wonderful.
cool. It's very cool.
Um,
So I'll keep you posted if you're interested.
Please do. That sounds right up my alley. I'm constantly wondering how artists keep up. Like, I love that you ask a question about burnout because it is just inevitable.
Yeah,
Being creative is exhausting.
it is. When I was getting my PhD, grad school was intense and hard, and I writing papers and dissertations and all of this stuff. And finally, one time I was like, well, people do this kind of like authors do this kind of stuff all the time. Like this is their job. This is what they do. So how do they
Yeah.
do it? And I found this great book. I'm going to mangle the title right now, but it's by a guy named Joe Figg, Figg, and it's like in the studio or something like that. And he interviewed all of these visual artists about their workday, their materials, their rhythm, all of this stuff about how are they creative. And so there's like 30 people he interviews.
Oh
And what
wow.
I got from it was you got about 4 hours of creativity inside of you every day. And then the rest of the time they're
That
doing
makes sense.
business of art, stretching canvases, working with galleries, all of that stuff. But it was really interesting to read it because it taught me to pay attention when's my best rhythm for creativity, like when should I do X because that's when I'm most creative.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
That
All
is
right,
fascinating.
we're ready for the lightning round.
Oh goodness.
This is the
Okay.
part that you are not prepared for.
Right. Well, I'm ready.
Okay, favorite track right now and why?
Oh, Angel by Sonny Fodera. It just invigorates me and reminds me of EDC Las Vegas this year. I saw him live, front row, VIP, topmost corner, dressed like a cat maid.
Oh, so cool.
So every time I listen to that track, it just brings me right back, and it hits hard. It's on an offbeat, and I love it. Like I love it.
How cool. Most people struggle with that, so I'm impressed.
Oh,
Other people, I don't know. I don't know.
I have a I have a repeat playlist that I'm constantly listening to and recycling
Mm-hmm.
songs. So I got that one.
Yeah. Favorite piece of equipment and why?
Oh, the piano because it's just keyboard piano. Does that count? Does that
Yeah,
count?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it is a sound that you cannot beat. It's unlike any other. It strings, drums, like percussion, it's all within one instrument, and it just resonates really intensely with me.
So you have a musical background. You took piano lessons.
I did a little bit of piano lessons. I learned traditional marching band and like orchestra percussion. So
Mm-hmm.
anything from the bass drum accessories to the snare and xylophone bells. And then that's what propelled me into playing the keyboard and piano. I'm self-taught, but and I do read sheet music. And then I also play with the guitar. I have little baby Taylor acoustic, which I love to play.
Yeah. I took
Um,
flute for 3 years. So I
love
I
it.
can I have to refamiliarize myself with the scale, but I can like I know, oh, that's a rest, that's a note, that's a like, grace note there. So I know how what it looks like and I know what most of it means. I just can't always remember if this is A or E or
It's hard when you don't practice all the time. Like I lose some of it if I don't practice often.
yeah. Yeah. Favorite self-care technique?
Self-care technique. That one's hard. Oh, does watching MasterChef and uh smoking some marijuana with my kittens, does that count?
That
It's
counts.
self-care.
That counts. I my dirty little secret is reality TV.
Oh, love. What's your favorite show right now?
Oh my god. So I've been watching Love Island.
Oh, I love Love Island. It's so funny. I
I've
don't
been
watch it
watching season
regularly, but
5 and now I'm on a cliffhanger with Cassie. Who's she going to choose? And I'm like really frustrated cuz now I have to wait for the next week for a new episode.
oh
And I
my
watched
goodness.
several of the Real Housewives.
Oh, I love Orlando and Atlanta. Atlanta
I
is my
love
go-to.
Atlanta. I watch Potomac, Atlanta, and Beverly Hills are the ones that I consistently
Candy's my
watch.
girl.
Huh?
Candy's my girl from
Yeah, Candy. Candy's cool. Yeah. And then when none of those have new episodes, I watch the Down on Below Decks franchise.
Oh, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, it's young people working on yachts and partying after the charter.
Oh,
Is
I love
basically it.
it.
Getting themselves into assorted and sundry trouble.
Fun.
Yeah. See, we have so much in common.
I love it. I know. I love talking with you. It's always so fun.
Yeah, we had
And
such a
I
we and it's what's so fun about it is I can't like totally geek out the way I want to with the general population because I could
I
talk like this to
totally get
anybody
it.
standing still about music, about all of this stuff, about DJing until their eyes just glaze over. But DJs can talk to other DJs about this forever.
Forever. I love it. I love it. Oh,
Uh, Favorite woman DJ and why?
my favorite woman. Oh, Toki Monsta. She's a South Korean DJ, and I just love what she's doing. But I saw her 3 years ago, but she's always just being very organic, always pouring out her passions, always really being open to what's going on with her in the industry. And not only that, but like her music, she's always stayed so true to her roots. She says like these really eclectic, weird, like almost Asian sounding like electronica. And
So
I I respect her. I have a flag, a South Korean flag that I had her sign several years ago at a show at L Club, and I follow her to the ends of the earth because I totally respect her, and she's definitely like someone I would like aspire to be like.
That's great. That's great. Oh, there's so many that I really love. Um, I really like enjoy watching Stephanie B right now because she has such a joy when she plays the drum machine along with her songs, and
Oh,
she's
that's
so
cool.
good. I just watch her and I'm like, you'd love her because you have a percussion background.
Yeah, Stephanie B. I'm gonna have to write. I'm writing it down.
Yeah, and I'll send you the link.
Perfect.
Okay,
Yeah,
now here's the really tough one. So you heard my theme song. You know the theme song. You gotta
I
be.
don't. I don't know if I know it, but I like it.
Yeah. So and the song goes, you gotta be strong, you gotta be this, you gotta be that. So for you, you gotta be.
I gotta be. I gotta be me.
I gotta be me.
I gotta be me. I am such a rhymer. I know that's like so cliche and simple, but like if I'm not being me, I don't know what I'm doing. I people have called me animated or I'm very excitable, but it's all so raw and organic. I just can't help it. So I think one of the DJs tells me my signature move is this because I'm always ready to go, or I'm pumping somebody up, or I'm wanting to fight. I don't know. Who knows? But I
I don't see you as a fighter.
nah, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Well, that concludes our interview. Are there any shout outs you want to say about where you're going to be in the next
Oh,
few
sure.
weeks?
Yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to be at Unity Vibration in Ipsy. That is the date is the 24th, Thursday, and we're going to be out there from about 7 to 10. There's the Great Lakes Flow Ipsy Spin Jam where our contact staff class is going to be taught. And so me and DJ Tina Trick are going to be playing. And then on Saturday, the 26th, I'm going to be at York for my resident night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, from
Oh,
5 to 9.
nice. I wonder if I can get out there. Maybe I'll bring my girlfriend out there.
Yes,
Because
we'd
that
love to
that
have you.
outdoor area is amazing.
It's so fun and so nice, and it's like, well, today is really hot, but hopefully by Saturday it'll cool off and it'll be
Yeah,
just
they
be
said
nice
it's
to be
gonna
out
cool
there.
off.
But
Yeah.
and then last but not least, I have a show in Petoskey in October, the 27th. I'm playing at the High Five Spirits Distillery, like
Very
vodka
cool.
distillery, and I'm playing there from like 8 to 12 or 9 to 12. So we're going up on a day trip, but I'll be DJing out there to bring my bump and bass house.
There you go. Yeah, that might be fun to join you to drive up there.
Please let me
So it's
know.
not on a weekend. That's on a weekend, right?
Yeah, it's on a Friday night is the set.
Yeah. So maybe I could stay the night there. I'm
Definitely
a
let me
little
know.
older than you, so this whole partying again in my
You'd never
life is
know.
kind of surprising. It's like,
I
really?
love it.
I'm going to end my life staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning again?
I love it because you are one of the only people who keeps up with me on the dance floor.
That's true.
If
That is a
not,
true fact.
I think you can beat me.
It depends on whether the music's good enough to keep me there.
True,
But
true.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Amateur Waifu.
Oh, thank
And
you.
this will go live on the last Sunday of the month, which I have no idea right now what it is, but I know it's not this Sunday. So
That's okay.
maybe it is this Sunday, actually. I'll have to look. But yeah, that's
It's
what's
been
happening. And You Gotta Be is an interview podcast that focuses on the lives and work of woman identified DJs. So thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been such an honor and a treat.